What's up, nerds, and welcome to this exciting episode of Cool Nerd Reviews. I'm Scott Burnett.
I'm Joe G.
And today, if you couldn't tell, we're talking about Suicide Squad.
Oh, I thought this was the Avengers. Isn't that what the online kept saying, that this wasn't the Avengers?
It wasn't the Avengers.
Right.
It was the gritty, dark,
grimdark,
better than Ultron version of Avengers. Anyway, last time we're talking about Marvel. So, if you didn't know, Suicide Squad stars all these people. Joel Kinnaman, Will Smith, Jay Hernandez, Karen Fukuhara, Cara Delevingne, Margot Robbie, Jai Courtney.
Yep.
This I cannot pronounce his name, and Jared Leto as Joker.
and Batfleck.
Batfleck and Flash was in it.
He was.
Amanda Waller hires these scumbag criminals to kind of be the deterrent for the next Superman in case Superman doesn't have morals. The next Superman doesn't have
Red
morals.
Sun.
Yes, not the next, not literally next Superman, but the next metahuman to show up, doesn't have morals.
That is way too invincible for them to handle.
Yes, so they need a squad of bad guys who can do some good. Anyway, right now we're going to talk about it spoiler-free, very quickly, and then when we switch to spoilers, we'll make sure we give you a spoiler
I really
warning.
like when James Spader kept saying that you don't have any strings on me.
No more of that. And then we'll give you an annotation to skip to the score. So far, really quick takeaway, spoiler-free. The pros, the squad really stands out, as it should. The action was fast, kinetic, and it was fun to watch. I really enjoyed the use of soundtrack versus score, and the Joker and Harley Quinn relationship was fantastic for me, maybe not some other people. And Will Smith and Margot Robbie stood out in a cast of recognizable standouts, in my opinion. Cons, third act kind of falls into superhero movie tropes, and it's the weakest part. It kind of unravels at the end before they kind of pick up the pieces and end it. Joe?
Pros. One absolutely first thing I will say about this movie, I don't know the name of the actress who plays Amanda Waller, and I feel really
Viola
bad.
Davis.
Viola Davis. She does a wonderful job portraying Amanda Waller. Like, if there's someone who's going to play her, oh my god.
Facts.
Fantastic. The man who played El Diablo.
Jay Hernandez.
Fantastic.
David Ayers directed him in End of Watch,
Yes.
so he was familiar
That
with
wasn't.
the director.
I actually didn't mind that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah. The other cast of characters, some I feel were really well done. Others I feel they could have shined a little bit more light on them, even though, I mean, we had such a bloated cast they couldn't really get to everyone and give them their own fair share,
I was going to get another 3-hour cut.
which I'll be totally okay with. I
Yeah,
actually
well-
prefer that right now.
Yeah, I think they don't understand that people would be okay with that.
But another thing that I liked, at least the beginning, it started off well. It had that like nice slow build up with the exposition and learning about at least 3 or 4 members' actual histories and going into it. Really delving into Enchantress, which I thought they were like going to really gloss over her.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. They gave her a lot of. They gave her a lot of history in a short amount of time.
Yes.
So you kind of understood she was out on the earth for a long time, and it was nice that they did it quick instead of some long drawn out thing.
The cameos in the movie, very well done, both by Batman and who we're going to discuss later on.
He's my favorite.
And cons, some characters, while they were portrayed well enough, I feel like there were certain aspects of them that they tried to drive home a little bit more than they should have. They could have reined it back a little bit with some aspects, especially when we get to Deadshot later on. There were some parts of him. I didn't really care for the Joker Harley Quinn. There was like 2 scenes that I loved with them in it, and some other ones I was like, this feels like it was just added on. I definitely want to see what he mentioned when he said if 10 of his scenes were cut out of the movie, and I hope they bring that in the director's cut, because I think that'll definitely flesh them out a little bit better.
I think they cut him out just because it's a Suicide Squad movie. It's not a Joker movie. And
Yeah.
I think he's such a unique,
It's like Bryan
character.
Cranston being in the Godzilla movie.
Yeah, he would just draw away from because you need for this movie to work, you need to like the characters, and with more Joker, you wouldn't get the time with the characters to like them.
And then also would be the last thing. I agree. Third act was just like, we're all gonna save the day, and we're all buddy. Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's really good. Let's go watch some football next Sunday at my house. I got DirecTV.
But it wasn't as the result and the ending wasn't as stereotypical as a superhero movie could. And we'll get into that, I guess, now. If you haven't seen it, click off or click here. Sorry who's ever editing this, because we're going to have to put an annotation here for the score. Right now, click it. We're going to start talking about spoilers right now. So, we're going to talk about plot now. This was quite handily the weakest part.
Yes.
Most in part to do with the fact that Warner Brothers rushed this production, and they gave David Ayers 6 weeks to write the script. First treatment he handed in, they ran with it.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. So naturally, he focused on the characters, which I'm glad he did, instead of kind of making a unique story. I'd rather just like a safe third act big thing in the sky, got to go stop the world from ending.
Yeah.
And then they focused on the characters. That's where the strong part of this movie is in the characters and not in the story. The plot is Enchantress.
Because they trusted her to, like,
I don't know,
not be fucking crazy evil. But
anytime a story pulls from Pirates of the Caribbean to Dead Man's Chest, you're not going to have a good time. The Amanda Waller basically has Enchantress's heart, and she uses it as leverage, and she's like, do what I want.
And a punching bag for, like, parts of the movie.
Yeah, so she basically, like, they use her as a puppet, or just for her bidding, and they used to worship her. Humans used to worship her and her brother, and now they're using her as a punching bag. So she just basically escapes, frees her brother, and her brother like shares his power with her or whatever.
So that she can live without her heart for a time being.
And then she makes this spell that shoots lightning at everybody.
She opens the hole in the sky that signals the Chitauri. It's time to invade New York City.
It's basically, if you've seen the third act of any superhero team-up movie, you've seen the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it, because if the squad was solving a Rubik's Cube in the third act, I'd still watch it, because they're all pretty likable for the most part.
Except Harley Quinn wouldn't solve the Rubik's Cube. She'd just smash it with her hat like that, and that'd be the end of the movie.
And then that's basically Harley Quinn. But throughout the whole movie, basically the first half is introduction to these characters, which I think you needed. And then they go into Midway City, and shit goes awry, and then there's these...
Very, very easily, quickly, too. It's just like... Rick Flag and Waller obviously know what's going on, and everyone else is like, so why are we here? We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why? We're rescuing someone.
Yeah, I kind of liked the way they didn't know what was really going on.
That's why I like Waller, because they showed Waller for what she is. She'll have leverage on you. She will not tell you anything. You're going to do what she tells you to do, and that's final.
Yeah. So it was, paint by numbers, nameless punching bag enemies.
Yep.
Fight till you get to the end, and then the big fight. What makes it different was Joker was a pretty big wild card in it. Almost when you forget he was in the movie, he'll pop up again, which was kind of refreshing. And in the end, normally everybody stop the big thing in the sky. Everybody goes.
Would you say he was a Joker? Sorry.
Boo.
We're not editing that part out.
Okay. All right. Just boo him in the comments.
You can.
I kind of. So like in the third act of any movie, it ends and then they go have shawarma. In this one, they just go back to jail.
Yeah.
I thought they would like escape, and it would be pretty stereotypical. And it's pretty funny at the end. They all like tell Waller, their demands, like, "Whoa, hey, we saved the world." Harley Quinn's like, "I want an espresso machine."
Yeah.
Will Smith wants to see his daughter.
And then Boomerang comes along. He's like,
Boomerang's like, "No, I want out. I have 3 life sentences."
Or we're gonna have trouble. It's like, well, then bring the trouble.
And then Boomerang gets nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, also Killer Croc wanted a TV with BET on it, and I really found that entertaining. Because at the end, you see him chilling in his sewer watching BET, like big booty shaking and stuff. It's pretty funny. So let's get into the most important part of the movie, the characters. Will Smith and Margot Robbie, easily the most...
Well, they're the two leads.
They're the two leads, and they get the most characterization. Diablo comes in third.
Yes, he
does. And Enchantress comes in fourth. Everybody else is kind of
they're there.
There. Yes. But...
Like Slipknot. She had a mouth on her.
He wasn't there for long. Slipknot got his head blown off. But the way they set up Deadshot, immediately fall in love with him during the hit. Where he's
leveraging the mafia, essentially.
He's leveraging the mafia, and he basically cons them out of $2 million and withholds the hit. And it's just... in such a short amount of time, they get you to like these characters, which is pretty commendable to do with like superhero. Like they're all kind of fantastical, like stupid. Like he throws boomerangs. Why would you like him? But you wind up liking him, and that's where the movie, I guess, succeeds. If you don't like the characters, this movie falls on its face.
Yeah.
Which character would you say you liked the best?
The strongest? The one who's on the table right now?
Waller.
Waller she was Waller, and El Diablo. I was surprised. I was hoping he was going to be done right, and then they blew me away with how right they did him.
I was going to say, I came out of this movie saying El Diablo might be the most faithful adaptation direct from comic to movie screen we've ever seen. In at least the DC and any other comic book. Because he's pitch perfect to what he is. I mean, it's not that hard to get him right.
No.
But they didn't fuck it up.
They did not fuck it up.
And he was great. Also, Enchantress was really interesting. Like we said before, she got a lot of...
I liked each time like that she transformed in the beginning because it was always like a different transformation
Yeah.
way. Like the second time she does it, like when you see Enchantress's hands like fold over hers. And
Well,
then
it's cool. It kind of crawls out of her
Yeah.
of her shirt and grabs her hand and flips over. She turns.
Which
into
I was
Enchantress.
always wondering how they're gonna do that because like in the comics, like she says Enchantress and like lightning zaps her almost like Shazam, and then
Yeah.
she's all of a sudden the
Yeah,
Enchantress.
she was very horror movie.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Skittering witch almost. If you saw like Lights Out, it was very reminiscent of the way that the Lights Out.
Yeah, the creature moves or whatever. Yeah.
it was interesting. And then she eventually turns into a more comic accurate looking June Moon Enchantress.
Yeah.
Which the CG was done pretty well. We'll talk about that in the effects. But yeah, easily the strongest part is the characters, and I want to see them. I want to see what they would do if David Ayers had more than 6 weeks to write a script. Hopefully we will. I don't know, but I want to see them as a group again do something worthwhile, because this movie, they kind of fake stakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, the world's gonna end, and it's got the idea of big stakes,
But
in
it
a
was like,
claustrophobic kind of city.
It was claustrophobic, and like when they said like, oh, she's in trouble, like she was mainly attacking United States Army. She wasn't attacking the world.
Yeah.
She was just
Well,
attacking
she's
the United
getting
States.
started. She's warming up. She
Yeah.
wanted to pull a hammy. She blew up one of the. There was a
The secret testing facility.
that you saw in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It was in Man of Steel. So
And
there's a lot of
also
connective
like
tissue.
I just think another like research facility
Yeah,
somewhere.
a ship or
yeah.
something. I would have liked to seen her attack Star Labs or someplace notable
Yeah.
in the DC world. But, like I said, characters are the strongest part. Let's move on to, I guess, score and effects.
Okay.
Like I said before, they use a lot of contemporary music versus score. And I think for the most part, it lands. Sometimes
It misses.
it misses. A song will pop up and you'll be like, what? Why did they pick that? I don't mind it because I really enjoyed the soundtrack, but...
No, I mean, there were some songs that I felt like I won't go into. I can't even remember every song that was in that movie because like I was like, I remember this from my childhood. I remember this from my childhood. I remember this from my childhood. Okay, so there were some that I think really fitted what was going on with the movie, and then other ones where I was just like, it felt out of place to what was going on in the scene, and I'm just sitting there like.
I can only remember one that didn't really fit the scene, and it was when they were all gearing up and Eminem started playing. I enjoyed the song, but
Yeah.
it just didn't really fit. The effects, for the most part, is very effect-heavy last end.
Yeah, the third act, yeah, definitely.
But one of the things I really commend them for doing is not using CG for Killer Croc. Well,
I mean, if they had just made his arms a little bit bigger after his
that's-
shirt came off, that would have been it. Yeah.
There's they saved some time and money without using prosthetics on his body. They used contouring and body paint as opposed to prosthetics. So the shift between prosthetics on his face and shoulders didn't really continue to the rest of his body. But it's quick. He's not shirtless for long, and you don't really notice it. But other than that, I really commend them because I don't really like solely CG characters. That's why I didn't really like the Enchantress's brother. He's pretty cardboard cutout.
Oh, yeah, Incubus.
Yeah. So I guess the final takeaways of this movie is see it. I don't really believe it deserves the shit it's getting. It's entertaining. It's fun. There's evidence of studio interference as Warner Brother does. I hope this is the last time we actually see it. But it's definitely worth seeing. It's a fun time. Go in, shut your brain off. There's no room to interpret like other DC movies. There's no like philosophical Jesus references.
No.
Like there's no
This is hope, and this is why hope is important.
yeah, there's no like commentary on what's happening, xenophobia, nativism. It's just not there. It's just a fun action movie with, if you're a DC fan, characters you love, go see it. For the most part, they nail it. It's not perfect, but it's not nearly as bad as people are saying. Final takeaways?
I'll pretty much agree with the same things. I think still there are parts of this movie that I don't get into, but there were some parts that I really just didn't really like.
I could see it. I could see this being. I mean, if somebody came up and said I hate it, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna.
You're not going to begrudge him that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like for me, the biggest thing that I feel like it helped Deadshot in the beginning and it helped him in the end, but it hurt him in the middle was when they kept referencing his daughter.
Oh yeah, hey, remember I got kids?
Remember, I got kids. Like I literally have a daughter. You're gonna give my daughter a good school. You're gonna give my daughter this. You're gonna give my daughter
No,
this.
I like that scene. I really like
That
Will-
one-
Will
that was-
Smith drips charisma. Anyway, final score.
Final
if you,
score.
If you had to score it, 1 to 10.
It's a 6.5.
Ooh, that's low. I'm going 8.3.
That is something that will appear right here.
Devin, do the math. It's definitely. We're gonna make Devin do the math. Anyway, it's worth a shot. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw here, check out our other reviews. We do a live podcast every Friday. We got a whole bunch of nerd videos over here or wherever the video is located. Click our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.